going on, fight fans? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Who's in the chat? What's going on? Skills from New Orleans. Salute, salute, salute. Blessings to you. Thank you for pulling up this morning. Terry Smoot, what's going on, my guy? How you feeling? All right, hold on. Let me tighten everybody up because they're coming in. Hold on. I didn't even drop my theme music yet. Hold on. Because every superhero needs theme music. Hold on.
Sunday Showcase, made possible by a public service grant from the National Endowment for the Arts and Bristol Myers Company in association with its divisions.
Yeah. All rise, open your eyes, no need to explain. I got a homie from the east and I'ma tell you his name. Never hang around lames, that's a part of his game. And if you show deep respect, he'll show you the same. Jeff undercard boxing, shook the world when he came. A lot of cats he's playing, but his hands are insane. You can get steamrolled if you stand in the way. He a yardie from Flatbush, you cowards his cat puss. We used to feud like Bishop and Q, but he'll fuck you up quick if I give him the cue. From the city of Midwood, the south central part of New York, next to Bensonhurst and Barrow Park. If it's a problem, don't even say shit. Just face this when you come across the Bay Bridge. No tolerance for BS or fake kids. Your blood clot crying. Just stop trying. The Jeff Undercard prepared for the assignment. He bringing a appliance so cowards can't fight it. He might yoke you up if he feels slighted. He's spreading out toxins. It's undercard boxing. Yeah. Mad love and respect.
All right. Let's get into it. Hold on. What's going on, Terry? What's going on, Skills? All right. So, as you can see, we got 3 fight cards on the docket for today, but there's a lot more on the schedule. These are like the main fight cards. Right now, actually on DAZN, if anyone has a DAZN subscription, there is a fight card going on from Germany. This thing started at 4 a.m. I repeat, 4 a.m. I got you, Terry. Yes, sir. I tightened you up, man. You good, brother. Thank you guys for pulling up so early in the morning. You know, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So you got Wallace versus Sheehan. That's on the DAZN card right now. So DAZN is putting on a lot of fights. We also have Sandor Martin, a possible opponent for Regis Prograis. He'll be fighting today on a Italy card. I'm not sure how they're going to stream it, but he is fighting, so a lot of people will be paying attention to the results of that card because the WBC might order Sandor Martin to face Regis Prograis as a mandatory challenger. His last fight was a voluntary fight in his hometown. A lot of people said Regis didn't look as good as we thought he would, but Sandor Martin is a good test. You saw what how the fight went with Teo. A lot of people stated he won that fight. A lot of people stated that he possibly could have won that fight versus Teo. So I'm excited to see how he does in his own fight, and then how if he does get matched up with the likes of a Regis Prograis. Sandor Martin is also the guy who retired Mikey Garcia. So excited for that fight. I'm not sure how you're going to stream these fights or see these fights because it doesn't give any updated information as to how you're going to stream it. An upset is like a person on the sideline waiting and hoping you can F you up. Yeah, what I'm saying is that, you know, with a lot of these fight cards, especially recently, the winner is not just decided within, you know, from the matchmaking. What happens is, you know, you really have to sit down, watch these fight, like Alicia Baumgardner versus I forgot how you say her name. How you say it? Laratude. You know, part 2. That's a good fight because she lost the first fight. You know, if you can go back and rewatch it, you can see how she went about losing that fight. What took place in the beginning stage. She kind of tried to go stand there with the girl and trade blow for blow. I think now she's more of a refined boxer. But I'm jumping all over the place. Let's start at the beginning. So we also have Josh Kelly versus Gabriel Corso. So this fight is important because Josh Kelly is fighting for stand rankings in the WBO. If he wins this fight, he will go from number 2 to number 1. So he's fighting for the WBO international super welterweight title. So Josh Kelly could be a possible opponent for Tim Tszyu, who currently has the interim IBF belt. D for the win. Salute, my brother. How you doing? Good morning. Thanks for pulling up. So Josh Kelly's fighting for the WBO international superweight title. We also have Steve Robinson versus Franklin Inique, 8-round heavyweight fight. Codeine Smith versus Francisco Rodriguez. Liam Dillian versus Asif. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post all these cards. Let's see what Terry said. Terry said, I think if Sandor fights and wins, it may be hard to make the fight unless Regis takes the fight with Haney or if he unifies. Now, Terry, I know that you heard that Haney was going the WBA route, not the WBC, only because of the, I guess, price point currently. But any fight that Haney moves up to 140 and takes that fight, I think is interested and good for the sport of boxing. It's showing you that the heavyweight champ, undisputed champ has the options, and you can go WBC, you can go WBO, all the belts because he owns them at the lighter weight class. He can go up and fight and challenge the guy at the higher weight class. So it's just good for the sport of boxing. I also was told that Regis Prograis might be fighting Jack Cottrell because they're both over at the Zone now. So the spell check is my statement. Strongly apologize. Nah, you good, brother. You good. I messed up and I tried to fix. I think I fixed it before I jumped in. You good. You good. Skills from you on these, man. When you always come, you bring the facts. So that's why. Just wanted to have a conversation like I always do in the morning. Josh Taylor is a finished prospect. He got beat by Avanesyan. That is very correct. Terry, that is true. He did get beat by David Avanesyan. But with every loss, there's always that comeback story. And these fighters, that's exactly what's taking place, where they might lose an upcoming fight, but they're gonna put them back into the ring and see how things shake out. So the Zone card, this starts at the Josh Kelly versus Gabriel Corso, which is an important one because the stand-in starts at 2 p.m. So for all those people who have the Zone and are still paying for it, Kelly versus Corso is at 2 p.m. There's not a lot of recognizable names on this card, but it's still boxing. Of course, you can get a wrench, my G. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm tightening everybody up. Give me a second. Everybody get a wrench, man. Listen, that's it. I'm not trying to play politics with nobody. I want everyone to be safe. What's good, BVO Boxing? Salute to you, G. How are you? Welcome to the family. All right, I just tightened you up. BVO, good looking, brother. So on the next card, like I said, you have so the Zone is putting on fight cards. They have one on right now, right in Germany. They'll have one on at 2:00. They'll have one on at 8:00, and they'll have another card in Mexico City at 8:00. So the Zone, right? As you know, people are allowed to use the Zone for just streaming. Yes, 100%, man. Salute. So we have Alicia versus Ladorte. This is a rematch. I got Alicia by decision, but I think she has to be careful in this fight because the way she fights, where she goes not balls to the wall, but she's throwing a lot of punches with a lot of gusto. If you start to see her gas tank fade, this could be a fight where this girl can take the fight from her or give her an upset. Because in her previous fight, what do you think about King Teo calling out Devin the American Dream? I think it's a great fight for boxing. It's a fight that, once again, we've been asking for. Um, if that fight does take place, BVO, that means Haney has to go back to Top Rank. And I know they're not just going to allow him to go back on a one fight basis. So it'll probably be like a 3-fight deal, probably a Tio, um, Jose Ramirez, or a Barbosa, something like that in a 3-fight fashion. And I heard Alicia looks like she tasted. I'm not reading that. CBO BVO is too early in the morning, bro. I see what my boy skill says. I got Regis over Haney. I got Shakur over Haney. I got Tank over everybody. Makes no mistakes. Haney is no weak link. Based on no last performance, he beat Loma but got hit too much. Yeah, that's all fair, and those are like real reactions to what we all witnessed and saw. And I always think about like how can a fighter improve. Um, he's been schooled by some of the best coaches coming up, but for the majority of his career, it's just been his dad. Do we believe that Haney needs a change of scenery? Does he need to hire someone else as a coach? Does he need someone else in the corner giving him instructions? Like you see that certain teams don't just have one main guy. Some of them have 2 or 3 people helping them. I love Alicia, but that other chick got a confidence in her that she can beat her again. Yeah, you saw that in her eyes, right? I saw it at the press conference, and I just see it in. I know exactly how to beat you. Like I've been studying. So this young lady was supposed to fight Mikhail Mayer in England, but the commission over there said that she couldn't fight because she had contact lenses that are permanent in her eyes. They wouldn't allow her to fight, so she had to withdraw from that fight. But I definitely wanted to see that fight versus Michaela Mayer because that would have gave me a good test. Yeah, salute. And Tio would beat Stevens, beat the sleeves off Sugar Shakur. Get confidence in that. I don't know. I think that's a good fight. I think that's a 50-50 fight. Real Haney is a trash coach. He's a terrible coach. Yeah, well, we've seen worse. Alicia is a superstar. Absolutely. So also on this fight card, we have the pro debut of Andy Cruz versus Juan Carlos Barreros. This is for the 10-round lightweight. So in his first fight in the States, Andy Cruz is taking on a guy with 37 fights. Just put that into perspective. As you know, Andy Cruz is the guy who beat Keyshawn Davis in the amateurs. He will be campaigning at lightweight 135. What do you think about him in the mix versus some of the more talked about names? Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. Who else is at 135? Pitbull Cruz, Ghost Frank the Ghost Martin. Andy Cruz makes his pro debut today, so I definitely cannot wait for that because it's going to answer a lot of questions. I believe this is what you call being fast track when you're fighting in your pro debut a guy with 37 fights. I know that Keyshawn Davis already fought this gentleman and won. I think he won by stoppage, but that's just incredible. And his first fight in the pros is not a 6-round, it's not an 8-round fight. It is a 10-round lightweight fight. Also on this card is Jermaine Franklin versus Junior Anthony Wright, 10-round heavyweight fight. Jermaine Franklin, who took the loss from Anthony Joshua, is returning on this card. You also have Jericho O'Quinn versus Carlos McCoy. It's an 8-round junior featherweight fight. As you know, there was a cancellation of Love versus Hitchison. Love pulled out with an undisclosed injury. I still haven't heard or read anything pertaining to what took place to why he wasn't able to make the fight, but he pulled out. I think that would have made the card just a lot more enticing. All right, let me see what Skills got to say. Skills said, did Haney abandon his defensive prowess or did Loma force him to mean in style? No, I think Devin Haney has had a habit of just doing the same thing over and over. I see you guys get over 300. Congrats, my guy. Yeah, blessings, BVO. We still grinding, baby. Yeah, Jermaine. Yeah, he did. and I think that's why he got the fight with Joshua. He did get robbed. Um, so back to let me answer skills questions. He didn't abandon them. What happens is he has a tendency of repeating the same thing over and over, and eventually, like if we see it as boxing fans who study the game and just keep rewatching it, a boxer in the ring with you are going to start seeing it as well. So what Loma started to do was know that whenever he gets in trouble, he likes to duck his head to the right and get out, and he was always susceptible to that uppercut. And once that's because those things become your cadence. Those are the things you do without even thinking about it. Like it just read and react. You're in trouble, duck your head, go to your right. Um, Things started to pick up on it, and before he would make that move, Loma would already send that shot that way. So when he's ducking, the uppercut would be there, forcing him to then pick his head back up, and that's when he would jab him to the face, jab him to the stomach, jab him to the chest, and that's when he was running off those 4 or 5 combinations. And the reason why they were looking spectacular is because it felt like Haney couldn't move out of the way of that. Instead of him trying to laterally move, instead of trying to twist his body and get out of the way, he would just duck down and to the right. And obviously he picked it up and started to capitalize on it. Now, did he take too long to figure it out? Possibly. I'm not sure why, because that's something that Haney did a lot in the George Kambosos fight. So he studied, but he didn't study enough. And I think that cost him the fight, especially at the 12th round. And yeah, Love is a coward. It's a strong word. And Mike Kirkland, if you're there, I see you, my brother. Good morning. I know you're always in the back. Love, a coward. Yeah. To me, it just feels as if maybe what they're doing at the Zone is, instead of giving that fight the co-main event, they're gonna reschedule it and make it a main event. And I would love if it's in New York, so that way I could pull up, make it in the Hulu Theater, right there in Manhattan, and I'll pull up and I'll definitely be at that fight, because the hype train has got to stop. Steph Brown, salute, my brother. Welcome to the channel. How you doing? Let me tighten my guy up. One second. Yeah, so if Loma had waves in the beers, he would be your guy, respectfully. Yeah, I mean, that's your favorite line, BVO, but my favorite fight, I already have a favorite fighter, so I don't need to have, Loma become my favorite fighter. I was at a crossroads with the Devin Haney versus Loma fight. I wanted Haney to win so that the hype train of Loma would end, but then the hype train for Loma got so crazy that it just got out of hand. You can't talk to them anymore. Salute and blessings to you guys for pulling up. Glad I can catch. Yeah, I'm usually this early on a Saturday, my brother. Thank you for pulling up. So what I do is I just go over the fight cards that's going to be happening on Saturday, and we go over how we see them playing out. Like Andy Cruz making his debut, Jermaine Franklin back on his own card, which I think is good for the sport of boxing. Excited for how they set this card up in Detroit. That I saw Clarissa Shields already in the building, giving her support and love behind Alicia. So it's going to be an interesting card. And pretty much, like how everyone's been getting a hometown fight. And when they have a hometown fight, they not drop the ball, but their performance is not up to par. Alicia can't afford that because she is undisputed. She has to go out and shine. Like, yeah, when Shakur performs in New Jersey, he puts on quite the show. And you can tell that everyone in the crowd is there for him and only him. They pull up maybe 5 to 10 minutes before his fight's about to go on, and they pack the place, make a ruckus, and then scoot up out of there like, all right, came so conquered. If Haney consistently repeats his skill set, wouldn't that affect his ability to adjust? Yes, and skills from New Orleans. I think that's why a lot of people paid a lot of attention to when Haney went back to the corner and spoke to his dad and said, "Dad, he's figured me out." And that's when there's levels. Bill Haney didn't make any adjustment to, okay, let's do this. This was a fight where Devin Haney could have did similar to what he did to George Kambosos, which is grab and hold, clinch. because then you're throwing off Loma's momentum because he's expecting you to duck and get out of the way. But instead, he just chose to keep trying, fighting the same fight. And he got in the 10th round, I believe, was one of the worst rounds. And I think he almost got dropped. Let me see what this BV going to say. 1 second. Let me get down here. I want to challenge you to debate Floyd versus Oscar. So you want to debate and you want to also choose the. And why would I want to debate you about Oscar? Man, I ain't supporting no fishnets. Cut it out, bro. And if you want to debate, let's sign up to TK Knockout Boxing 86 TV debate. I'm not debating you on my own channel. Yeah, salute. Do you don't let the guy from the Bronx and the Hulu. Well, I'm not from the Bronx, bro, but salute to New York, salute to the Bronx, salute to the whole NYC. Got you on the card. Yeah, man, lightweight doing their thing. Absolutely. And Tank is free. For all the people who, under a rock. Tank is now home. It's no longer free Tank. It's Tank is free. I would say give him towards the end of the year to make a decision. Shakur is a ballroom fighter. Now the Prudential is no ballroom, bro, and he sold it out each and every time he's been there. Over 10,000 people. You think Haney may have potentially? Yes, I do. When I rewatched that, was it? Oh, it was the 11th round. Maybe it was the 11th. 10th, 11th. Listen, he was just looking. It looked bad for him. You remember how he was running off combinations versus George Kambosos I believe it was the 11th round too. It felt like the same thing was happening here where he wasn't throwing any punches. He was just getting hit and hit and hit and hit. And to me, I was just like, man, this is getting bad. And this is why everyone was so surprised that if you had him hurt in the 11th, or if you felt you were just doing whatever you wanted with him in the 11th round, why would you go to 12th round and not let off any combinations? Why would you think, all right, I think I've done enough? That's 7-5. I think too. So too, BVO. That's Shakur comment. I mean, the Prudential Center is not a ballroom. And like I said, he successfully sells it out every chance that he gets. Tank and Devin in December. I'm speaking into the universe. D for the win. December. That might be too long for Lord Devin Haney. You have his representative right there at Terry Smoot. So if you have any direct questions that you want to ask Team Haney or BH, Terry's right there, man, and he's willing to spill the beans because he's paid, so he's willing to give you all the information up. December, I don't know if Haney will be able to hold 135 that way for too long, and the sanctioning body is not going to just sit down and wait till December, even though it is a money fight. Because remember, Tank doesn't want those belts. He wants to fight, but he doesn't necessarily want those straps. I think that a mandatory will get put on top of Devin Haney's head if that does take place. Yes, that's a fight that a lot of people want to see and want to happen. He needs the time to trim back down himself. I don't know. Devin Haney was 140 when he got locked up. Then you come back home and sell out. Hold on. Let me. So when Devin Haney got locked up, according to his arrest warrant, he was at 140. So a lot of people have been saying how big he is and how he's outgrown the weight class. He was only 140, which says a lot. So definitely he's staying in shape. All right, hold on. Let me get to my boy Steph Brown's comment. No, it is an undercard, but you make your name on the road, then you come back home and sell out. If Shakur, all that, and a bag of chips, go sell out the Hulu, then MSG. Come on now. All right, hold on. I accept your question, and I come back with a retort. When he fought Oscar Valdez, did he not sell out that location, that venue? And I believe that was in Las Vegas. Let me double check on my boy. Shakur Stevenson. Because remember, he didn't fight Valdez in New Jersey. Hold on. Where he fought Oscar Valdez at? He fought Oscar Valdez in Las Vegas, MGM. Oh damn. What do you think was the venue? MGM Graham. Let's see. Hold on. Give me I'm doing some research for you guys. True. Just joint effort though. I agree. It was a joint effort. What I'm saying is just give him the right opponent, man. Like it is certain guys like the same thing that's said for Boots. He's a hype job. He hasn't fought nobody. Man, he sold out Atlantic City, but it was only like 4 people. I'm like, let's give the guy an opportunity to prove to us what we all know. Not mad at all. I'm just not gonna say he's doing things until a big household name. But that's the top rank, Steph. That's top if you've noticed, that's kind of how the top rank model goes, is like they're giving Jared Anderson another fight in at home. Yeah, man. So they be saying the same thing. Yeah, correct. That's a top ranked model. You know, like I can't wait to see Xander Zayas in Puerto Rico or something, because that is the model. That's how it works, and it's up to them to not settle, to just keep fighting prospects and to be fighting. I want to be fighting champions, ex-champions. I want to be fighting former world champions. I want to be fighting every fight that I make for some type of title, some type of hardware. I don't see why is it that Loma gets these opportunities for undisputed over and over and over, or like when he sets out a goal and tells Top Rank, "Yo, I want to be undisputed." They move heaven and earth to make that happen. They put it in the contract that the third fight that you're gonna fight will be Lomachenko. Why is it that Shakur wanted to be undisputed at 120, at 130 when he had 2 belts? What you call it? Undisputed is not important. That's a waste of money. That's a money grab. That's this is this. It's like, hold on, wait, what? But then Lomachenko can get as many opportunities to become undisputed as he wants. He can petition a sanctioning body after losing a fight and put himself back to number one. It just seems that there's a double standard where he gets what he wants, and when Shakur Stevens says that's what he wants, they don't move heavens and earth to make that happen. But I'm praying that, listen, you know what fight I would want to see? If Frank Martin does what I believe he does to Artem this Saturday, I think Frank Martin is willing to come over to Sean Clark. Salute, my brother. I think Frank Martin is willing to come over to Top Rank to make that Shakur Stevenson fight. What do you guys think about that fight? Salute, bro. What's up, man? How you guys doing? Thank you for pulling up. I know it's early. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Also, the fighters should be pulling to fight their top guys within their stables, i.e. top rank guys like Shakur, Haney, but many variables, I'd imagine, like they do have top rank guys to fight one another. Yeah, but you see, the problem is like the guys behind Shakur, the guys behind Haney, they're still at prospect level, in my opinion. So Ray Moyatel, is he a contender? If Shakur went and beat him, where the most people going to say? Sean Clarkson and the blessings, absolutely. Who else is over there? Keyshawn Davis got 7 fights. Who else is at 135 on Top Rank that you can say, all right, that's a good fight to make. We don't know the outcome. And I think that from the casual to the hardcore boxing fan, everyone's going to be entertained by that fight. Talk to me. Let's spitball some names out here. I'm right here. I'm listening. I think that would be a terrific fight. Yeah, I think that fight could possibly happen because he is man down promotion, so he definitely can cross the street and make that fight happen. Especially, if the fight he wants is over at Top Rank, I think that Errol Spence can make that fight happen because he's been saying Shakur is on the list. We don't need Shakur to come up here. No. Stay with Top Rank. We'll come over. All right. Like something you said, a lot of guys aren't moving up until 47 really clears out. Yeah. I think guys are settling into their divisions. Like 140, I realize why the division is not as popular as we would like it to be as boxing fans. And that's because some of the champions don't really speak English. So it's hard to kind of attach yourself to them because when they do an interview, you're not going to hear most of it. Some of our favorite fighters will be hanging out at 135, 140. Yeah. Marquis, salute, my G. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so you got let's talk about all the champions at 140. Cibriel Matias, strong fighter, doesn't speak English, hard puncher, but his fighting style is punch, no really flair, doesn't really show a lot of defense, balls to the walls, a hard-hitting puncher. Regis Prograde, up in age. There's no money at 140. Believe it or not. Yeah, that's why Rolly's the odd man out. Man, Harry Davis got that purse bid, which should be commencing, what's the, July 24th. Marky already tightened you up. Yeah, July 24th. Harry Davis and Rolly got that purse bid. I don't think they even make that a main event fight. I think that becomes a co-main event. It's a Regis Prograde, all in the tooth, two division champion, looking to maybe he's trying to unify some belts. I don't know. I think he just wants to get paid. So him holding the strap allows people not to duck him. I don't think he's interested in becoming undisputed at that weight class. I just think he wants to get paid a lot of money for his fights and just continue to fight who he has to fight to make the biggest bang for his family. Rolando Rolly Romero, who arguably was losing to Barrosos before they stopped that fight. He has a fight coming up. Now, Rolly's a talker, but the skills doesn't match his performance. So every time we hear Rolly say something, we just say fool's gold. And, like I heard him talking about Ryan. Bro, unless you're going to drop that belt and then fight Ryan Garcia, which I think would be a good fight, stop talking about Ryan. You have a mandatory sitting on your head. All right? And more than likely, if that does go to purse bid, PBC is probably going to lose and send that fight to the UK. Keep it a bean. He'll probably be fighting on a Matchroom card or a Golden Boy card. I think O'Harry's signed with somebody. It might not even be. It might be like Combat Sport or Boxer or something like that. But we all know that Rolly's going to be fighting probably in the UK soon. And last but not least, we got IBF, WBC, WBO, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tio, who has just stated to everyone that he is not retiring, he is not relinquishing his belt, and that he will come out of retirement to fight the likes of Devin Haney. So he's the wild card because who knows what he's going to do. He's up, he's down. He's got a lot going on. I really underestimated him beating the likes of Josh Taylor. Salute, Sloan Clark, blessings, my brother. Thank you so much, bro. Means a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, so you got for that $2 $5 holler. Good looking, G. Yeah, so Tio coming back to fight Haney. Is he only coming back to fight Haney, or is he coming back to defend that WBO strap against someone at top rank like a Jose Ramirez or an Arnold Barboza? Let me go through these comments real quick. That was a quick rant. Rolly is the odd man out. Yeah. Bro, Rolly is bad for television. He's bad for listening. Bro, I can't even listen to his interviews. Like ES News, you got to stay out of that place, man. Leave Rolly alone. Let just Rolly fight. so we can see what happened. I do not support that. When the old man floored him, I turned that stuff off. Yeah, Barrosos can punch. Listen, if I'm PBC, I figure out a way to get Barrosos back into the rankings. He might, like, once again, don't speak any English, but I think he's good for the sport of boxing because maybe he just wins that championship and relinquishes the belt because he's just so old. But I think that would be good for the sport of boxing. I do not support that. When the old man floored him, I turned that stuff off. Yeah, Rolly is it's bad for boxing. He needs to transition to wrestling. Yeah, I mean Logan Paul and Rolly inside of the ring would be must see television. I still favor the fight to be a showcase on Showtime, or at least for us Americans. Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about O'Harry Davies and his past ties with MTK Global, that's the reason why I said that. So we'll see. July 24th, purse bid. We'll see who wins it. Um, even if it does stay on Showtime, I don't think it's a main event fight because why put a product as my main event when the guy has the possibility of losing, and not only losing but looking bad while losing. You know. All right, so we went over two of the three fight cards. We went over Alicia's fight card. We went over Josh Kelly's fight card. Let's go over the Showtime fight card, which starts at 9 p.m. This will be on the free Showtime app. It's not free, but I like to say free Showtime app so people can go download it. This is from Las Vegas. You got Martin versus Artem and this. Could someone explain this to me? Frank Martin versus Artem is a WBC lightweight eliminator. Eliminator, right? Now, I know that Michelle Rivera versus Frank Martin was also an eliminator. That's why a lot of people were saying that Frank Martin versus Tank is a fight that will possibly happen because when he won that fight, I believe he became number one in the WBA rankings. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But to my knowledge, I believe that when he won that fight, he became the WBA number one contender when he beat Michelle Rivera. So now he's fighting for a WBC lightweight eliminator. So if Loma is number one in the WBC, Shakur Stevenson is number two in the WBC, does this mean that he, upon winning this fight, skyrockets over them and puts himself as the number one contender? Or is this just a way of the WBC to make some money on a guy that they don't possibly see making that fight? Rolly will beat O'Hara though on the card. He's a bad fighter, but he'll beat the Brit. All right, hold on. Let's look up O'Harry real quick. O'Harry Davies, 31 years old. Another old man. Man, this thing get lucky. Man, how does Rolly just keep getting so lucky? All right, so he got TKO'd by Josh Taylor, and he got a UD by Jack Ruchel. Those are his two losses. Since then, he's been on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7-fight winning streak. And I'm gonna say everyone that he's fought has got a good record. I'm just going over O'Harry Davies real quick. Louis Richardson, don't really know him. Nicholas Maui, Tyrone McKay, Jeff O'Rourke, Logan Yon, Miguel Vasquez. Not a lot of notable names, but the two names that he lost to, a lot of us could say were tops in that division. Josh Taylor was undisputed, and Jack Ruchel beat Josh Taylor, even though he didn't get the decision, and could have been undisputed as well. Ain't no flavor over there, man. Yeah, sometimes when I put on the UK card, you can just see like how they're just trying to insert these fighters and tell you how good they are, but also tell you that they haven't fought anyone yet to prove that they're that good. I think, what does Sean Clark say? I think he's still number two for some reason. Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work within the ranking system. So Harry Davies will be his next fight. It's going to purse bid. I don't know. He's on a winning streak also. Like the names that he's beat might not be of note, but he's 5'7". He's got 2 losses. He's got a 71-inch arm reach. I think that's a tough fight. That's all I'm gonna say. Rolly is no walkover. He's not gonna just go in there, punch Rolly, and then he's gonna fall over. But you can see his punch resistance is not where it was. Ever since the Tank the Tank fight, and then after that, he also got knocked out in sparring with the same kind of punch. Rolly has this very unorthodox style, but I think it makes for good TV. I don't know. Let's see it, and then we go from there. So on the co-main event, you have Elvis Rodriguez. A lot of people are high on his development. This is a super lightweight. He's facing Victor Postal. I think this fight also ends in for the Frank Martin versus Artem fight. I think this fight ends in late round stoppage. I think Frank Martin and Derek James were upset that he didn't stop Michel Rivera in the last fight. And I think in this fight, they're not going to go to look for the knockout, but an orthodox fighter who's never fought in the States before versus a southpaw, Derek James, Frank Martin working with the likes of Errol Spence, Ryan Garcia, Anthony Joshua, Jamel Charlo in the gym every day. I just think that this is going to be, he wants to make a statement, and no better to do it than a former Bronx medalist in the Olympics than a stoppage victory. So I think they're going to push for that. So you got Elvis Rodriguez versus Victor Postal. I think Elvis also wins this fight. Victor Postal is a shell of himself. I don't feel as if he's going to move and box. I think he's just too old in age. I'm happy that Elvis gets the chance to get this type of name on his record. As we know, Victor Postal fought the likes of Bud Crawford and a few other guys. So this is a good stamp name for him moving forward. You also have, I know that a lot of people were looking for Nonito Donaire versus Santiago. That fight has been moved to Spence and Bud undercard for July 29th. So it's rescheduled. If you're looking for Nonito, he will not be on this card. Salute to Rachel and Nonito Donaire behind the ring. We missed that show. I know you guys are in training camp, but just wanted to let you know if anyone's listened to this playback, we kind of missed that show because it definitely was very informative. It told us behind the scenes of boxing, and it gave us like an insight to the fighter's life, which you don't get very often. So you have Fuentes Rojas versus Diego Santiago Sanchez. This is a 10-round welterweight fight. Fuentes just recently re-signed with Samson Leskowitz. If you're wanting to know any information about this young man, check out YSM Sports Media. They had him in the gym. They were interviewing him. So on the undercard, which is going to be the prelim, which is shown on YouTube, you have Quinton Randall versus Willie Jones, 8-round welterweight fight. Salute, my brother. How are you? Good morning. Clarence, yo, salute my people. Peace and blessings. Yes, sir. You have Justin Cardona versus Angel Barrera, junior welterweight. You have Anthony Cuba versus Angel Rabola, lightweight. And then you have Alex Holly versus Michael De La Cruz, 4-round welterweight. And that concludes the Frank Martin fight card this Saturday. It's an exciting card. Like I said, a lot to prove on for each of the fighters coming up. Let me tighten you up. Give me 1 second. Tighten you up. Salute to undercard. Jay Gibson, salute, my brother. Welcome. Let me tighten my brothers up. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm having for you. I gotta put the $sign beforehand. I think so. Give me 1 second. It's Hold on, let me see. Let me check it myself. Hold on. And thank you for the support, man. Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you for subscribing. All right, let's see. Artem likes to engage. He's a little green with the peekaboo style he uses, though. I think Frank Martin stops him tonight. Yeah, I think so. I think he stops him just to make a statement. Yeah, so it's undercard boxing, all one word, no underscore. Steph Brown. Thank you so much once again, just for the thought. It means a lot. Um, I'm just working, guys, and every Saturday I'm here. It's really early in the morning, but I jump up and we cover the cards coming up because these fights are happening later in the day, so there might be your favorite show is on, and hold on, Steph. Yeah, I think so too. I think also Sean Clark, the fact that he is it's his first time on American soil fighting, meaning he's never been here before. I think that speaks a lot to what he's experienced, what he had the likes of sparring, who he's gotten in the ring with. I like how they salute Steph Brown. I got it, brother. Thank you for the $5 holler. Thank you, bro. Means a lot. Blessings to you. Thank you so much, sir. Um, Thank you for making that. Brock Howard, Brooklyn in the house. Yeah, I think that what they've done is they've gotten a guy with a good ranking, a good style, a former Olympian to step in the ring with Frank Martin. There's a lot of fights for him over at PBC. You have Edwin De Los Santos, you have Tank Davis. Like, if they don't want to let Frank Martin go somewhere else and fight, there's definitely a lot of fights in house that can be made. And I think that that's good for the sport of boxing. Let me second everybody up. Hold on. Salute. Brock Howard, I got you already. Thank you, sir. Looking for pulling up. Yeah, so we just going over these fight cards, man. And if he does make a statement, I would like to see the Shakur fight, but I wouldn't cross the street when I have smoke right on the side of the street with me, in the likes of Edwin De Los Santos, a guy who, since his loss to William Foster, has been on a winning streak. He's been knocking guys out. He's been showing that not only am I improving as a boxer. If you saw last week, he didn't just go balls to the walls versus Ordano. He boxed his head off. I thought he could have went for the stoppage, but I thought he must have thought it was important for him to show this other side of his skill set, where I can box you and I can be quick and elusive, because you have to put more stuff on tape so that way people are preparing for a different side of you. If it's just one fight style like Pitbull Cruz versus Cabrera, we already know what Pitbull Cruz is going to do. He's going to come forward, he's going to throw a lot of punches, and he's going to be aggressive. Is that style? You already lost using that style versus a Tank Davis. What are you going to switch up in a second fight that's going to make you more productive? And the fact that he really wants that fight, when you have, once again, Frank Martin on that side of the street, Edwin De Los Santos on the side of the street, it's very, I would like to see Isaac Pitbull Cruz get tested versus some of the guys coming up before he gets another crack at no shook hands in Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn never ran, never will. We got a million of them. That's why I'll be rocking with my boy Shushu Carrington. I can't wait for him to get back into the ring. There's a lot of upcoming fights. Like, I know the July 29th has got everyone, just laser focused. Him and Frank Martin would be a good. Of course, that's what I'm saying. Like, the matchmaking at PBC, it doesn't do itself, but it's great because there's so many different style contrasts. They don't just go and look for one style fighter who does one thing. They look for boxers. They look for brawlers. They look for counter punchers. They look for guys who want to fight on their toes. So whenever you guys can mix them two together, come on. Pitbull Cruz, Frank Martin, somewhere in September on the Charlo versus Canelo undercard. Tell me that's not a fire card to watch as a co-main event. Talk to me. Come on, people. That would be fantastic because the contrast of style. Frank Martin would be the Charlo, and the come forward guy would be. Come on. It sells itself. My mind just works in that way, where it's just like, let's start putting fights together. Once a guy has a fight here, I want to see the fight here. The reason why my channel is called Undercard in Boxing is because we have so many fight cards going on, so many different fighters. Some of them go by the wayside, and I agree. TGB Promo do a hell of a job at matchmaking. This absolute, not only matchmaking. Remember, these guys have to sign these dotted lines and make these fights. So not only are they matchmaking well, but they're compensating their fighters. And that's the reason why I think fights are made where when it comes down pen to paper, I'm getting how much to fight this guy? Oh, yeah, give me that. I'm trying to look for the likes of like when's a Chris Colbert coming back to the ring. I know Hector Garcia has a mandatory put on him. Now that would be fire. Let me see. Hold on. Undercard. I'm not from Brooklyn. I'm from Houston. I knew you were from Brooklyn. From that, I would say Brooklyn. And got you. Salute Brock Howard and salute Houston, Texas. Jamal should come back. I can't wait for him to have a Houston fight. He needs to give him a hometown fight versus a tomato can, so he can knock the guy out and we can get back to boxing. Y'all come in here, hit the like button, undercard showing up. Thank you for Luke. Matter of fact, let me do this before I get up out of here. Usually I go like an hour and a half, but I always in the event, even though we've been talking the whole time back and forth to one another, I always drop the link. If anyone wants to come up, just something they want to talk about, something on the brain, something that they want to discuss, I'm here. He should rematch Rayo still in. As you notice, Rayo's kind of went quiet away ever since that decision. I know they probably came to him and offered him some good fights, but he's been making some good money. Edwin De Los Santos, then Chris Colbert. I think that wasn't that fight on pay-per-view. It was on it was on Dave Plants versus Benavidez. So to me, I believe you got some of that pay-per-view money. I wonder if it trickles down. Like if I'm the 3 fight on the pay-per-view, do I get a piece of that? Because technically, Jerron Boots Ennis is a pay-per-view star. That's right, I said it. No, I'm joking. He was on the pay-per-view with Hector Garcia. He was the co-main event. So does he get credit? Bash Reeves, what's good, my G? Good morning. Talk to me. You're here. I can hear you.
Is that better?
Yeah. You unmuted yourself. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yeah. I'm good this morning, man. Good morning to you. Just thought I'd come chop it up real quick. I won't be too long. I got to start getting ready, man. I got this volunteer event up in Long Beach. Beautiful. But, yeah, man. What's up? That was a good job. Good job with the undercard and letting us know was good. I just learned some stuff, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what's really been on my mind, man? I've been working a lot, so I haven't been into too much boxing news, but when Jamel and Canelo got released, what was that, 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Man,
that
really intrigues me. That fight really intrigues me, man. I think that's a great fight.
How do you see that fight? I'm
trying to convince myself. Let's pull up. Right now, undercard, currently I got that fight a draw. I have that fight. Yeah, man. It's not that I don't pick either or guy. It's just that there's a lot riding on it, from the actual boxing angles of the fight to the moxie to the bravado to the staging of it.
Yeah.
Money. This is Jamel's pretty much coming out party for a pay-per-view status wise. So
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
We don't know how he's going to react to that, but I do expect him to come to fight. No doubt, he's a fighter, but I just don't know how he's going to react to that. For Canelo, I'm a Canelo fan, man. And when I say that, I've been on his heels and on his chops ever since he left Golden Boy. He has not done anything that has impressed me. So him taking this fight not only negates all that, but it lets me know that he still has a fire in the belly there, and that he's no punk, and that he'll still take on some decent smoke.
Yeah.
But also too, we all knew and could agree that he would probably do something like this if his pay-per-view numbers would fall, which they have. in the last
Yeah.
4 and 5 years.
Yeah. Triple G and
So
John Ryder was really bad matchmaking for him to be on pay-per-view. But
that
they have
and
to pay
just
him that money. Yeah.
well that and more importantly, you see the zones in the same business model as Showtime, subscriber base.
Yeah.
So he was fine, getting his money, but like the eyeball, because ain't nobody signed up for that crap. So I'm sure he felt that, and I'm sure during negotiations throughout his contract with these people, that's been a topic of discussion. But back to the boxing, man. Look, man, Canelo's still good, man. He's still good,
Is
and
he? What have you seen to
well,
say
he's
that he's still
been
good?
just as far as just being a force. But Charlo will be ready for that. What am I trying to say?
I think the X
Just
factor in this is Derek James. Derek James versus Eddie Reynoso, a guy who beat him out twice for Trainer of the Year. I think that puts a little bit of extra gusto. A lot of people don't really focus on the trainers; they focus on the boxers. But before that guy steps into the ring, he is being given the tools by his trainer, and I think Derek James, realizing what's on the line, I got an undisputed fight July 29th. I have an undisputed fight September 30th. I can be a coach of a 147, 154, and a 168 undisputed champion in the same year. How are you guys not going to call and recognize me as one of the greatest fighters of trainers, of this generation? I just sometimes those things play into my mind as well.
well, I agree. Um, Um, and Derek James is a ton better than Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso makes no adjustments. That's why Canelo hasn't looked good. But what I was going to say shortly before that was that, yeah, man, he's been on the decline for at least the last 3 and 4 years. I mean, just look at the competition who he's been facing. And when I say that, you got to look at the styles matchups on how he's walking in. He's able to just kind of walk up on these guys or at least wait them out while he's
Yeah.
doing his little damages.
Yeah.
But again, this is undisputed. This is a big time fight, and like neither nor guy is going to shy away from that. This is a really, really good style matchup, man. Now I think I'm back to Charlie real quick. He, I'm from Texas too, man. So us boys over there, man, are very athletic. Like this dude could play strong safety. He could play maybe even outside linebacker, man. He got good size, and he's very quick, very fast.
5'11", yeah. 5'11"
And what I
versus
noticed
5'7".
about him, is that he's, instead of just kind of running up to you and trading shots, he's moving. He throws, moves,
pivots,
throws,
yeah.
moves. He takes little damage, moves. He's getting out of the way. But Canelo is a master. Him and dare I say Shakur, that they fight a little similar. That's why I would say Shakur fights like a real Mexican, man, because he just kind of walks up to you and stays in front of you and bobs and weaves and shit. But Canelo's very masterful at that, and he's up against. So he's going to be very careful, and he's going to be throwing some uppercuts in this matchup. And I think I'm going to take this from BF. Man, I hope who's that, Charlie? I hope he dyes his hair back regular color, man, because like if he starts rolling with the shots and swinging and your hair falling over the place, like they're gonna count that. So long story short, man, currently today
Devin Haney also.
I got that fight as a draw.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll come closer to it, but I got it as a draw right now.
Now, do you? How do you feel about the fight with Bivol? Did that kind of expose? Because I don't think it was the weight. I know weight was what they used as the excuse.
For sure.
But as far as the technical boxing, I think Bivol showed us he likes to throw those winging punches. Go ahead, I'm talking.
It's not that. It's just, man, 175 is not his weight class, bro. It's not. I know he beat Kovalev years ago, but that's not his weight class, man. But like again, I'm barely impressed with him moving up and doing that. I mean, he could have fought all these other guys at 60 and 68, and really, you and I could really be rallying behind Saul. But he's been, he's been ducking and running and trying to fight all these other guys. And and want to be, what am I trying to say? Want to be like a 4 and 5 division champ when really you had all this other smoke, man. So, and what's funny is he did all that after guys lost belts or got the division. So,
Yeah,
I get it. And I always say this when I'm debating other boxing fans. Look, man, our favorite boxers, top boxers, mediocre boxers, they are all looking for advantages. They all are looking for advantages, man. This is why you hear about things like a hydration clause, things like that.
yeah,
So I don't get too high or too low on that stuff. Just back to your question, he shouldn't even been fighting that dude, man. He should have been
yeah.
fighting someone else 68. I mean, what's more impressive, him losing or winning against Morrell, or him winning, losing, fighting Bivol? Nothing against Bivol, but I would rather see that, Mr. Morrell there. And then for Bivol's case, man, he looking kind of silly. Like, how are you, like, I don't understand. Like, how's he not trying to fight Arthur or fight any other top
No,
175
he
guy?
is trying to fight Arthur, the WBC. Oh,
But
I'm
he's so
sorry.
quiet, though, undercard. You don't hear shit about that dude.
Language barrier. That's one. Two, uh, this is he doesn't stay in the country long enough. He comes over for when there's fights, and he goes away because he has a family when it's necessary. He has also stated, to give you guys an update, that he'll be returning to the ring October, November, at 175 versus someone. I thought it was going to be Anthony Yard, but Anthony Yard is going to be on the Zhang's undercard, which is in Zhang versus Joe Joyce, which is in September. So he won't be fighting Anthony Yard, but he is returning. In my opinion, I thought the zone was freezing him out. It's my opinion. Don't beat me up.
Mm,
My opinion was
mm.
that because he could have stayed active, the zone could have kept him active. Why is he just waiting for one fight? I know that wasn't his preference because his preference was to fight Canelo at 168. And when Canelo was like, "Nah, I want to rematch you at 175," he's like, "For what? I've already beat you here. I want to fight for something else. Let me get his crack at those undisputed titles." And then all of a sudden it was, no, let's rematch for the exact same price I gave you when you were the challenger." And he was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." That's what happened. So that's the reason why you don't have Bivol back in the ring.
Mm,
Boxing is in a
mm.
good place. There are
Yeah,
certain
I
people who
agree.
are trying to conduct business in a way that we don't we don't like, but the business of boxing is one of the
Challenges. It's one of the
challenges
challenges
of
of
the
the game.
sports. So, but
Right.
a lot of people don't know a lot of that information because it just isn't out there as well. Fight Hype is not doing a lot of interviews with Bivol. He's doing interviews on Seconds Out, which is a British ran um, television, which a lot of people don't really take into. And
Gotcha.
there is that language barrier where sometimes he's speaking, sometimes someone is translating. People don't want to sit there and listen to it or try to get the information. I do because this information I want to share with everyone in the chat, everyone that's watching the replay. And thank you once again for pulling up. Bivol will be back. The reason he hasn't fought Arthur Beterbiev is because the WBC said they won't sanction the fight for undisputed. If they do somehow come together and make that fight, they're not going to have the WBC belt on the line. So it's like, man, we worked all this hard to get an undisputed fight, and the WBC is telling them that they won't sanction it. And I don't think Bob Arum is in a
That's
rush to.
discriminatory.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
discriminatory as fuck.
They're,
Oh my
they're
god.
using they're using the war as a reason to say that, though, to say that they won't sanction any fight with someone from Russia and someone, because they're both Russian descendants, but Arthur lives in Canada, and I don't think I maybe Bivol lives in Russia. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but he's like, I
Yeah.
have no affiliation with that war. But these are the things that sometimes don't get said. And the WBC runs their organization with an iron fist. They do what they want when they want. So, it's hard to say
Mm.
if we'll ever get that.
One more thing
I'm here for
before I go, because like I said, I've been so busy, I haven't had time to hop on my favorite channels and spit that game. This whole Devin thing, man. Gosh,
it. Where's Terry?
I,
Terry,
I
we need
mean,
you.
he's very well. Me and Terry are friends, man. Me and Terry are very close here. What's that? Look, man. He's been talked about, so this guy's very popular, very, very popular. And let me put this disclaimer out again.
Only on YouTube.
Look, Uh, right. Um, and look, he's just like any other boxer. I just explained that disclaimer. I said that look, all these guys look for advantages, and they're going to take it if it's there. They're not going to
Yeah.
not take it. The only time they're not going to take it is if they have no interest in fighting, and that's everybody because everyone doesn't take every fight.
Right.
But in Devin's case, man, I mean, to me, it's all there. All the data and the work is there, including the cloud chasing, including the damages and all the intricacies and all that kind of good stuff. Uh, look, man, this young man, this young sir is, and I just found out yesterday about him and him and his whole charge and all that kind of good stuff. That stuff, that stuff hurts you, man. That's really messed up. I feel like I feel like that's like his first time, discounting that his comments about Loma years ago. But anywho, yeah, he look, man, this guy's the outright champion, bro. And there's not a lot of people wanting to fight him. And when I say that, calling him out, even at the next level at 140. So it kind of just discourages me a little bit that there is this little bit of negative talk. But I know people are just going to talk, and then frankly,
It talk
when
goes
you
both ways.
and frankly, when you insert Tank into the situation, I said this, and let's go back in time. Let's look at a timeline real fast. Let's go back to October, November of 2022. You, right at that point in time, the pot was getting hot as far as that the fans were clamoring for Devin and Tank to get it on. And then out of nowhere, Ryan Garcia gets the nod. Like out of
Yeah.
nowhere. And like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't too crazy about that fight, but that's not what I was asking for. So then, we went through the bumps
is
and the roads
hilarious.
and the ups and downs of that, and we get to closer to the fight, Tank and Ryan. And what do you know? Both camps, Tank and Devin, just stop talking. After that, it's just a bunch of shit talk. There's no real substance about those two really getting it on. So when I saw
Well, that's because he had a
and myself,
3-fight
like
deal
when
and
I
he
saw
couldn't get
that,
out
and
of it.
especially, okay, fine, I'll grant that, but you can still set things up for the future, and like that's possible, and that those are facts. You can still set things up for possible. But let me land this. Like they were both at that fight, meaning Tank Ryan, and there wasn't
Hmm.
a peep. There wasn't a peep from either or. For many, many reasons, I would imagine, it's Tank's moment. They don't want to get in there, nor was he even invited to do that. But at the same time, if that's what you're egging on and that's what you've been talking about for so long, you would think there'd be something there, but there wasn't. So since I seen that, saw that, I just left that shit alone, man. And I don't see those two fighting for a long time until they. And let me put it this way. I'll fast forward. Until Bill Haney decides to go talk to Tom Brown and Al Heyman. He talks to everybody else. He talks a gang of shit about starting this and starting that and doing business with everybody else, but he never talks about doing business with Tom Brown and Al Heyman. And those are the guys you need to talk to if you're trying to get a fight with Tank Davis. And look, man, they want the money. I get it. I'm talking about Dev. They want the money. I get it. As far as Tank goes, the energy I get from him, man, I don't think he wants to break bread, with Dev at all.
It's been a
Like his
little
body language,
disrespectful.
the language he uses, and I get that. I ain't got no beef with that. That's why I've just kind of just let that go, and like I guess in due time that shit will happen. But back to Dev, you know, I mean his data, the work is there. His father has, first off, his father's his promoter and his dad, but he promotes his son.
Really well. I agree.
Like if it's not him, it's nobody else.
Sure.
Really, really well, man. To the point, this is why they have the success that they have, and he's moved him the way they have, and he's now. What do you know? He's become a champion, an outright undisputed champion. I'm very impressed with that, man. Given how we just have been talking about how the challenge of the business of boxing is and how it goes, it's very impressive. Now I know he does a bunch of jawing and talking shit. I get that. Everyone does that. Maybe I'd rather just appreciate if people just say, "Hey, man, I don't like how he did that." That's not cool, man. But you ain't gotta like say all this other stuff that's completely unnecessary to the point. And then, or yeah, again, I just feel like people just say you don't like the dude because to me, Devin is doing he's doing what a lot of people aren't doing. And then fast forward to this recent situation. Look, man, he's a young millionaire learning how to be a multimillionaire, and that's just that.
Been a
So
millionaire all his life, though, Steph.
yeah, well,
You don't have to
yeah,
learn when you've already
well,
done it. Salute, Just Do. Yo, hold on.
hey,
Let
man,
me read this
you're
from
not gonna
Skills
do
from
one, man.
New Orleans. He said, "Jeff is Bud your cousin? Y'all resemble. You funny as hell. Skills from New Orleans. You are hilarious." I sound look like Bud's cousin.
What up, New
So,
Orleans?
as it pertains to Tank and Devin, there is just so much to unpack because so much has been said. The fight will happen. Hopefully, it's in the future. Devin sometimes, whether it's his promoter or just the people who speaks for him, feels like a guy with a chicken with his head cut off. I'm going to fight Shakur. Then I'm going to fight Regis. Then I'm going to fight Tank. Then I'm going to fight Tio. Then I'm going to hold on. Wait, what? How can you how can you be at
everyone does it,
135?
hard.
Everyone does not give me
yeah, man, they
anxiety
all
when I
do
have
it.
to listen to you speak. Maybe I haven't been spending a lot of time in boxing, but I don't get anxiety when Wilder is going to fight. I don't get anxiety attack when Tank's going to fight. Oh, look, he's going to fight Hector Garcia. Oh, okay. He didn't say I'm going to fight Hector, then I'm going to fight Gary Russell Jr., then I'm going to fight Haney, then I'm going to fight Boots, and I'm going to fight Keith Thurman, then he's going to fight. I don't.
Little question though.
Those
Question.
Answer. All right. Go
Question though. Yeah, with Devin though, just some of those names you just mentioned. He approached all of those guys saying he wanted to fight them, and we got nothing but cricket from those guys. So I know he said he's going to fight him or he wants to fight him, but when he approached them for those type of fights, you get nothing. So
he tried.
I mean,
and there's just so many. Like I said,
but my point is, okay, well,
make the fight. Remember, Haney's famous saying is, they say everything but let's fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep giving him grace. I'm going to start giving out grace to people. I'm going to keep saying Devin Haney's going to make the fight that best makes sense for him, and then we will see him fight. We hope that he wins and keeps being great, and that's it. To go back in history and, well, he did this to this guy, and he did this to this guy, and he lowballed this guy. I don't want to have like a negative energy towards Devin Haney. I want him to be great, make the fight the fight, so that way we can all see it and we can all witness your greatness.
And let me say this about Dev. Dev's not perfect, bro. He's not the best.
Ryan Garcia,
he's one of the best, but he's not the best. And like I can clearly see that when I watch the young man fight. He's on his way. And I could get some of the criticism why people picking out. I'm critical of him. Like I think he needs to work on his combinations more, and that will help him probably set up a knockout more instead of trying to be in mid range and get out of mid range too much because he seems to get in trouble like that. But I've also been a proponent. I'm saying, look, man, and I'm gonna hurry up and get up off to that after this next couple points. I've been saying this pretty much since he became a champ. I was like, bro, it's time to get a real trainer, someone who could work on your strengths and weaknesses.
We spoke about that,
and that is a shot at Bill, but I think that goes to the point to where people harp on his last fight where they felt like he was losing certain rounds or certain times to Loma, and it's like where he didn't make the adjustments.
Yeah.
I think so too, but kind of coming back to another point I said moments ago. Bill talks to everyone except TGB and Al, and I get it because his father instincts kick in, man. He knows there's a bunch of killers over there right now on the PBC side, and he knows
just
that
go to the zone. I'm okay with Haney in the zone.
Well, they are though. The undercard, they are.
I'm okay with him going back. I'm okay with him going back to the zone. I don't mind.
No. Let me finish. Like when I say they are, yeah. He's still going to build his son into this megastar. So that's what they're doing. I mean, look at how he's maneuvered his son throughout these times.
How many fights does Haney have? Is it 30?
Close to it. He's got like 28, 29, something like that.
He's not a star yet. What does he wait for? The right dance
No,
partner?
no. Well, that okay. What I mean by that
Actually,
is
he has
like he's
30
still
fights.
building him up. He still
He
wants
has
him to
30
be this
fights.
thing.
Steph, he has 30 fights. Sorry,
30.
just
Okay,
one. Yeah, 30.
30.
Just waiting for
With
him to
what?
be the
Like
star.
20 knockouts, or like
No,
16,
like
17 knockouts and
maybe
shit.
like 12. All the ones in Mexico.
Nah, he's got more than that. He's got more than that. I know he's got more.
He's got 15. Half of
All
his
right, there you
fights.
go. There
But
you
he
go.
hasn't had a knockout in like 5 years. But
Yeah.
the star,
And you know,
so
like,
him trying
go
to
ahead.
build him into a star, he's already got all the belts. He's got the cachet. He's a millionaire. Got the jewelry. He's got the look. What is he missing to make him a megastar? What do you think it is? Because I think I know. What do you think is the reason he's not a star?
Well,
Yeah. Preference.
no, no, they're just, you know, I'm gonna take Bill's word. I'm gonna take Bill's word. He say looking for that respect, A, and then B, they are looking for a Gervonta Davis type of money pot fight. Now, I know what I said earlier. That sounds a little contradictory to what I said earlier, but this is why I keep leaving alone, because they aren't moving like that. That second part of what I said. They aren't trying to get that pot. Even though they talk like they want that pot, he's not moving like that. I recognize that. And as much as I might have a problem with that, I mean, ain't nothing I can do about that, man. But just call a spade and keep it pushing. All that being said, I love Dev, man. I mess with Dev. I think Dev is this. I think he's that. I hope for the better for him, and I do want to see him versus him and him and him and him. But time is the real prophet, and we're just going to have to wait. Now, I don't know how serious this whole, like, Regis thing is. It's pretty serious, I hear. I love that fight. I think that's a good fight. In fact, I got Devin beating him. Not based off of, based off his last performance, talking about Regis. And I love Regis, too, man. I think he's a killer. I just think in a single boxing match, I think Dev will beat him. So that's why I take Dev.
So a couple of the
and
brothers
that's all
in the
I got,
chat.
really.
And I thank you, Bass, for coming up, or Steph Brown. I always like seeing Bass for you, just wanted to say it. A couple of the guys in the chat had something to say. So it says, is there one fighter who says everyone body's name but ain't fought? Not one of them. Another thing was no knockdowns. So no knockouts, no knockdowns. And he's not a star because his fights are not exciting. So
all fair.
All 30 fights. These are the things that I don't know how you work on being more excited, because maybe that's who you are. But if you're matchmaking and if you are allowed to pick and choose where to go and get these fights, and you want to fight the best names and you want cachet behind who you are, maybe try less talking and just make the fights fight and then just keep moving. Because the other way that you're going, it feels as if you're losing fans, and that's just my opinion. Where they're like,
be true.
It's not Haney. I just dislike his dad, and I'm like,
man.
why would you dislike his father? And he's like, have you heard him speak? He's a contradicting walk-in line. I'm like, oh, he way oversells his skills and doesn't deliver ever. Yeah, he did say he was going to retire Lomachenko. We can't forget those things. He's not a star. Let me ask you this, though.
This is kind of a, how should I say, a curse and a blessing, because it's all bad news in the end.
Yeah,
but I mean, who else is moving like that? Meaning,
like what?
Devin's been able to all these different networks and still gravitate towards the success that he's had. No one else
should have never left Showbox. He should have never left Showbox.
Canelo. But a lot of people leave places. But a lot of people leave places not named like a big boxing star, get to have the type of success that Devin is going through currently.
Who left? Mickey Bay. Was Mickey Bay
has not had success. Has not had any success. Not like Dev. The last one I could really think of is Mikey Garcia. He had all that type of trouble with Top Rank, and look how he turned out.
Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I said not named a big, but I said not named a big boxing star.
So you want me to name a lower tier guy who moved from company to company to company? Okay.
Or a mid tier guy. That sounds better.
Gabe Rosario. You said not a star.
I'm trying to give it to him, but like he, I want to say sometimes, just like there are times where whomever you're working with, your promoter will just fight somewhere else.
Y- y-
And in his case, he's been like a replacement.
He's a journeyman.
But
But you said star. He has
like,
star. You know what?
sure, yeah.
I
And I
would
love
much
Gabe.
rather
Shout out
watch
to
a
Gabe.
Gabe fight than a Devin Haney fight because I know it's going to be exciting.
Undercard. Hey, chat. He doesn't mean that.
I meant every word of it. Gabe is going to come to fight, even if he's ending up on the canvas looking up at the stars. Guess what? I know Gabe went in there and gave me everything he had.
Right on.
We're just gonna wait.
Well, man,
and I salute you for coming up, bro. These
yes,
are great
sir,
conversations, and I thank you. Every Saturday,
Yes,
I'm here this early in the morning for about an hour and a half. I thank you. We extended it a little bit because you came up, and I thanks everyone for pulling up. Got him.
Definitely,
I got him
brother.
with Gabe. I got him.
Yeah,
the
I'll
body.
give you that.
I got him to the body.
To the body. Hey, that's how you finish him. All right, brother. Much love. God be with you, and I'll see you around. I'll see you around on the channels. All right.
Peace
Be
and
well.
blessing, Pastor Steph. Peace. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. Got to play that outro music. Let me go back dark. That was funny, Skills. All right, we're gonna put this one up. Hold on. And we gotta play that theme music. I'm out of
To
here.
my brother, man. From the motherland. Word him up.
Sunday Showcase, made possible by a public service grant from the National Endowment for the Arts and Bristol Myers Company in association with its divisions.
Yeah. All rise, open your eyes, no need to explain. I got a homie from the east and I'ma tell you his name. Never hang around lames, that's a part of his game. And if you show deep respect, he'll show you the same. Jeff Undercard boxing, shook the world when he came. A lot of cats is playing, but his hands are insane. You can get steamrolled if you stand in the way. He a yardie from Flatbush, you cowards his cat puss. We used to feud like Bishop and Q, but he'll fuck you up quick if I give him the cue. From the city of Midwood, the south central part of New York, next to Bensonhurst and Borough Park. If it's a problem, don't even say shit. Just face this when you come across the Bay Bridge. No tolerance for BS or fake kids. Your blood clot crying. Just stop trying. The Jeff Undercard prepared for the assignment. He bringing a appliance so cowards can't fight it. He might yoke you up if he feels slighted. He's spreading out toxins. It's Undercard boxing. Yeah. Mad love and respect to my brother, man. From the motherland, word him up.
Thanks to everyone that pulled up today, man. We had a great live. Appreciate everyone. I appreciate the donations. Steph Brown, Sean Clark, thank you for your support. Undercard and Boxing, live every Saturday to go over the undercards. I'm going to be posting them up. You can find them in my community page. But they will sometimes be listed on YouTube itself. Peace and blessings to everyone. Have a great day.